these animals. Could you tell us a bit more about the stories of these two dolphins?
Sure I can. Both of our dolphins are what we refer to as rescued and rehabilitated animals. They were actually found entangled in fishing nets off the coast of Japan and brought to a rehabilitation facility where they were deemed non-releasable. Luckily, they found a permanent home in the wild. Working with me today is Hannah. She has been at the aquarium since 2005. During this time, we've been able to fully maintain a very strong relationship with her. And regular checkups.
你看，就会给它鱼吃，表演完了就不给鱼吃。
As well as their individual personalities, which, believe it or not, are just as different as you and I. But most of all, Helen and Hannah remind us every day that we still learn much about dolphins out in the ocean.
Thank you very much, Anna. Certainly, Pacific White Sided Dolphins can be found all across the Pacific Ocean. In our own waters, from Alaska down to Mexico. However, they're not the only dolphins or cetaceans that are found across this wide range. And it's important that we learn more about them. I'm curious, how many of you have ever dreamt about working with Pacific White Sided Dolphins or another kind of cetacean? Quite a few of you in the audience. Well, you can actually take an active role in research that goes on with these animals by visiting a website called wildwhales.org. You'll see signs for it located in green in many spaces of the habitat. By logging onto the Wild Whales website, you can report the sightings that you and your family have made of cetaceans here in British Columbia. It's important to note when, where, and how many individuals you were able to locate. These sightings will help us get a better understanding of where cetaceans are spending time in our waters, and perhaps can even help us to identify individuals. However, telling different kinds of cetaceans apart can be a little bit difficult. Maybe Helen and Hannah can help us to learn more about how you can tell Pacific White-Sided Dolphins apart from their relatives. One thing to look for is their unique strategy for camouflage. Notice that Helen's white belly at the surface contrasts with Hannah's dark back. This is a strategy called counter-shading, and by being dark on their backside and white on their underside, these animals can be more difficult to view from above or below because they blend in with their environments. Their size is something else that can help you to tell these dolphins apart. As Helen makes her way onto the dock and Hannah shows off for us in the underwater viewing gallery, you'll notice that these dolphins are actually a little taller than I am from the tips of their tails to the tips of their snouts. This is much larger than the common gray harbor porpoises that are seen here in BC, but also considerably smaller than killer whales, which can be the size of a medium-sized school bus. Pacific White-Sided Dolphins can also be identified by their dorsal fins. Try getting a picture of the fin that's found on their backs if you're here with a camera. You'll notice that Helen and Hannah's dorsal fins can be a little tricky to view when they're moving quickly. But when they are visible to us, you'll be able to see that they look quite different. All Pacific White-Sided dorsal fins have a little bit of dark gray and a little bit of light gray on them. Helen's is the darker and more curved of the two, while Hannah's is about 50-50 and is rather triangular shaped. Now that we can identify Pacific White-Sided Dolphins, it's important to remember that we shouldn't ever try getting too close to them in their natural homes. We ask that whale watching boats keep about a 100-meter distance from any cetaceans. That's about 10 times the length of this dock. Luckily for us, Pacific White-Sided Dolphins can often be spotted from far away in boats. These animals are known to be extremely energetic and acrobatic as we look at the way that Helen's moving. It's no wonder that many of these dolphins are sighted every year. Pacific White-Sided Dolphins can also sometimes be heard vocalizing in our waters. If we're lucky, we might be able to listen to some dolphin sounds right now.
Oui, allô. Your turn. Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can make some noise for Hannah and Helen if you like. Those are some pretty impressive vocals. It's important to remember that the sightings and perhaps even reports of vocalizations that you make will help to add to the information that we have about these animals, where they're spending their time, and what their natural lives are like. However, one observation that researchers have been making is that Pacific white-sided dolphins have been coming into many parts of British Columbia. The most recent sighting that was made took place on June 4th in the Lewis Channel, which if you're from BC is kind of near Campbell River and Powell River. Another observation that these researchers are making, however, is that these dolphins may be threatened by human actions. Fishing nets can be a serious threat to these animals, and Helen in particular bears the scars of her injury. As Anna taught us, both of these dolphins became accidentally entangled in nets while living in the coast of Japan. Because of Helen's injuries, her pectoral flippers had to be partially removed. Fishing nets are not the only way that humans can act as a major threat to dolphins, however. These energetic creatures may also be threatened by depletion of ocean resources. Fortunately, Helen and Hannah can help us to engage in important research that will tell us more about their species and perhaps help us to better protect their relatives in their natural homes. Research like a recent metabolic study that went on here at the aquarium has contributed to our knowledge of them. Many people have observed that Pacific white-sided dolphins are very acrobatic marine animals, and that's certainly something that we have seen plenty of today. But how much energy does it take to be a Pacific white-sided dolphin? These animals can also be very hydrodynamic or streamlined, but their quick swimming and steady leaping must require a large energy intake. While we can train high-energy behaviors like this, to learn about the way their metabolisms worked, we had to ask Helen and Hannah to do something totally different, to stay still. That may seem easy for us, but it's a pretty hard thing to ask for a Pacific white-sided dolphin, animals that have lots of energy. These two individuals rose to the challenge, however, and learned to remain still, breathing into a large dome, which measured their oxygen intake and carbon dioxide output. Kind of like the machines that we might use to understand how much energy we're using. Pacific white-sided dolphins here at the Vancouver Aquarium revealed, finally, in 2012, that they need about 15,000 calories just to keep their bodies running. These incredible creatures could thus be eating as much as 100 times more food than all of you are getting in your daily diet. This metabolic research gives us a better understanding of their kind, and is just one way that Helen and Hannah are helping to act as ambassadors for their species while living here at the Vancouver Aquarium. I want to remind you that you can help the members of our team by using the wildwhales.org site. Every sighting that you report will give us more information about these unique marine mammals. And through research projects like this, we will be able to better conserve aquatic life, such as Pacific white-sided dolphins. I am so glad that all of you have had a chance to meet with Helen and Hannah today, and I think we need to give a big round of applause to them and their trainers. On behalf of the members of our team, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that we've made a real splash in your understanding of how you can help us to learn about Pacific white-sided dolphin research and provide crucial information that will help us to better protect them as well. My name, once again, is Derek, and once again, on behalf of myself, the marine mammal trainers, and Helen and Hannah, thank you so much for joining us for the 3:30 Dolphin Show.